Liberals' dance partner on the budget vote?
The Liberal stance?
Which party do you think is most likely to support you guys on the budget?
Partner. I think they should all support us.
But
obviously,
from what you've seen so far, from what they've said and what from Minister McKinnon has said, do you think maybe the NDP is? Do you think the NDP is the most likely support?
I think all of them are going to have to look at this budget and realize that nobody wants an election. And Canadians don't want an election. Canadians have given us a mandate. I think we have a responsible government that is attempting to find the best way. So I think, I'm not going to speak for any other party. They're going to have to do what they do. And I think Canadians have decided that we are the government and we should attempt to do that. There are conversations always ongoing and we'll continue to do that.
What are you hearing from your constituents regarding a possible election if the budget isn't passed?
Very little, very little. I'm just going to say goodbye to those people, though.
I think that your government should be making concessions to the other parties to get their support, given that it's a minority parliament.
I think what we do is what's best for Canada. I mean, right now Canada has huge economic challenges. We have constant challenges with affordability. We have housing challenges. We have healthcare challenges. So our government has to do what is absolutely best for Canadians and do it with a laser focus on that, not on playing politics. I mean, what I think this budget is about doing the best for Canada. If other parties want to play politics, that's up to them, but Canadians will be watching closely.
Ms. Gazan, can we get you on the bag about kind of some of the things you guys would like to see? Is there anything that you'd like to see for your constituents in the budget?
Well, certainly, I mean, the federal government's threatening to cut potentially women and gender equality by 81%. That's going to cost lives for folks in Winnipeg Centre. That's unacceptable to me. The Prime Minister was talking about sacrifices the other day. My question for the Prime Minister is, who is he asking to sacrifice? And I can tell you, at a time when we're seeing an epidemic of violence against women and gender diverse folks, it's not us that should be making the sacrifices. Thank you.
The Bloc Québécois are accusing your party of having internal disagreement over whether it will support the budget or not. Is that true?
Well, I'm not sure where they're getting their information from, but we haven't said anything yet. We have to see the budget first.
Do you think that your entire caucus would vote together on the budget regardless of how you vote?
Well, look, we're having discussions as a caucus. We're a very connected caucus. We are working very well together, and we'll see what comes. Thanks so much.
Last question, can I just ask you, you were at the leadership forum last week. Is there any candidate that you like in particular so far, or any thoughts you have on who, anyone in the race?
Well, there's certain things that I'm looking for from the leadership candidates. I've certainly not endorsed anybody to date. Certainly a leader that has a clear climate plan, a leader that broadens their understanding of workers, somebody that's committed to social justice, and somebody that's willing to build a party where somebody who looks like me fits into, along with the many constituents whom I represent. I haven't made that decision yet. Thanks so much. Take care.
Mr. Sabia and Mr. Blanchard are being called to the ATI committee. I believe your party supported that. Why?
Well, because transparency and accountability are important in Parliament. The Prime Minister put all of his assets in a blind trust in advance of the election, before Canadians had a chance to actually see what those were. And so I think that it's important that Canadians have confidence in their Prime Minister. And so calling people who can testify to those issues, I think, is important.
And the end game is what? What do you just,
Transparency and ethics. Thanks.
Good. Appreciate your stop. Care about Sabia and Blanchard at ATI committee, what you just voted on. Any thoughts on that? Just asking because you guys just voted on it.
Yeah, well, the committee is tasked with reviewing the Conflict of Interest Act, and I think the witnesses that are being compelled to appear by the House of Commons have a lot of value to add to our study, and I'm looking forward to having them come.
What's the end point of this? More transparency, or?
I think the end point is transparency and accountability, and I think Canadians deserve to know that when their public office holders are in office, that they are aware, Canadians are aware of what their holdings are and what it represents and how that impacts some of the decisions that are being made.
Final question is, the Bloc and the NDP, I believe, supported this motion.
Yep.
What do you think of that?
Well, the Bloc has been very interested in this study. We heard last week, for example, that Brookfield had used tax havens to dodge over a 5-year period, while the Prime Minister was the head of Brookfield, $6.5 billion in Canadian taxes. So that piqued the interest of the Bloc. It also piqued the interest of the NDP, and frankly, I'm not surprised that they supported this motion today.
It seems like the ceasefire right now in Gaza is very fragile. We've heard Mr. Netanyahu have been asked to order new attacks on Gaza today. Were you surprised that it seems so fragile right now?
I'm not surprised. Sadly, this is what we were worried would happen. That this ceasefire was never something that Netanyahu was taking seriously. And of course, the innocent people of Gaza, innocent Palestinians, are going to pay the price for that continued assault, you know. And the Canadian government, let's be very clear, is still complicit in an ongoing genocide against innocent people.
Do you expect anything from the government short term regarding that?
Unfortunately, this government has shown themselves to have no interest in protecting human rights, even to adhere to our own laws in this country, such as the arms trade treaty.
Thank you for your time.